Hey, crypto family. So, the first article we're going to talk about today is regarding teen Bitcoin millionaire Eric Finman and his opinion that Bitcoin is dead in the long term. So, basically, this kid, Eric Finman, he invested in Bitcoin back in 2011 whenever it was $12 a coin through a $1,000 gift from his grandmother, and it became over $4 million during 2017. Now, because of this, a lot of people look at him like this child prodigy and he knows everything. But after reading this article, I'm starting to think differently of that. So let's go over the article and exactly what it says. So it says, Finman is famous for his precarious investment in Bitcoin back in 2011. And then it goes over in his interview with MarketWatch, this still teenage Finman remarked, Bitcoin is dead. It's too fragmented. There's tons of infighting. I just don't think it will last. He gave a similarly grim forecast for Litecoin, the altcoin founded by Charlie Lee. He said, quote, Litecoin has been dead for a while. It's like when the sun's going down, there's that 8-minute period just before it goes dark. Litecoin is in its 7th minute. Now, this is where I actually, lost a lot of basically respect for him, is when he says more optimism went to the project-based coins such as Ethereum and anonymity token Zcash, with Finman reserving positive comments for Bitcoin Cash, notwithstanding its recent controversial hard fork, affirming his belief in the coin's technology. So you got to think, right now he's supporting Bitcoin Cash, which has a ton of manipulation behind it, is a lot of the reason for Bitcoin's recent fall, and is a lot of the reason for Bitcoin having its turmoil in the first place. And then he's also supporting Ethereum, which Ethereum hasn't performed that well, and I don't think Ethereum is as strong as Bitcoin just because it's focused a lot on dApps and a lot of different smart contracts. And basically, it's more vulnerable than Bitcoin is. So I think his opinion, while of course, he's respected for buying Bitcoin in 2011, but still, he hasn't been in the space. He hasn't really had any software engineering jobs, any tech-based jobs to really make this assumption. He's basically just kind of seems like he's letting his ego get in the way and just thinking, okay, there's all these problems with Bitcoin, it's going to zero. I prefer these other altcoins instead. So I don't think that he's really thinking about what he's saying, and he hasn't really done a lot of the research for that. And it says, the teen also reportedly rallied against the hooks and lobbyists of Wall Street. Buoyed by his early success, he told MarketWatch, I'm better at this kind of stuff than those millionaires. They don't know how to work the system. They're nerds. I'm more than that. And then down here, it actually says, in the vein of characters from a popular TV series Breaking Bad, he has also spoken of plans to purchase a Lamborghini with a personalized license plate corresponding to his average grade point average in high school, 2.1, although he never graduated. So 2.1, no matter what scale you're using, is a horrible grade point average. Now, I know college 4.0, some high schools are 7.0. There's different grade point averages for different schools. But, for him not to even graduate high school and then have, low grade point average, I'm sure he's a smart kid. But again, a lot of these decisions he's made later on in life, haven't really been to his benefits. And again, I think that, he's still very, very young, and just goes to show, don't listen to just what anyone says. If they don't have the credentials to back it up, if they don't have the experience, then their opinion holds a lot less weight. So just want to keep that in mind. If anyone has seen this article or is scared, there's just, again, look at the person's background and just kind of give an overall view of exactly what they're saying and really weigh out the advantages and disadvantages. So I want to bring that up in case anyone came across it. Now, another article I want to cover is the mining adjustment and if it's going to save Bitcoin. So I mentioned in my last video that Bitcoin, there's only a few companies that were profitable with Bitcoin mining right now. I believe there's 5. And the one thing I didn't talk about in that article was about the difficulty adjustment. So for those who don't know how difficulty is adjusted in Bitcoin, every 2016 blocks, the difficulty required to Bitcoin goes through automatic adjustment. And this is basically, say, after 2 weeks, if there's exactly 2016 blocks, then the difficulty will remain the same. If there's more, if there's more blocks mined, the difficulty will increase to try to get to that mean average. And if there's less blocks mined, the difficulty is going to decrease so that it can come up to that mean. So Right now, the difficulty is actually 10% lower. So usually blocks are designed to be minted once every 10 minutes. Now they're being mined every 10.9 minutes. So again, about 10% slower than expected. So the next difficulty will take place on December 19th, and it's expected to reduce difficulty by 10%. And in the past, mining difficulty is already down 20%. So what does this mean for Bitcoin, the price, and miners? Well, one, that means more miners are going to be profitable because the difficulty is decreasing, therefore increasing the profit that is found from mining a block. So again, so that's going to be good. And then as well, if more miners are mining Bitcoin, more blocks are being mined, then that can also cater to Bitcoin's price rising. So again, this has a twofold effect, and it says stablecoins currently account for over $2.5 billion in wealth, and coupled with the institutional investors lining up for the January-backed launch, there's a lot of money on the sidelines waiting to jump in at any indication of a market reversal. This difficulty adjustment is the next event to come up, and if it can act as a large enough catalyst, things could start turning up for the first time in a long time. So again, a lot of people aren't really paying attention to these difficulty adjustments, but they are happening at a rapid pace, especially with the price of Bitcoin and how many miners have dropped off the market. You know, the difficulty has to adjust for that so that it can either bring back the miners or, you know, make the miners that are still mining more profitable, so it kind of incentivizes people to come back. So just article I came across, and, you know, it's something to keep in mind. Always look at all the variables. Don't just get caught up in the price or any one variable. Now, last article I want to talk about is Coinbase, and it's actually adding crypto to crypto trading for retail customers. So this feature has been available to a lot of cryptocurrency trading services, but Coinbase, who has a very large retail audience, has not had that. So previously, you'd have to have two transactions, basically selling your Bitcoin and then buying a different coin. Now, in this crypto to crypto trading, then it's just like normal exchanges. You can convert from one cryptocurrency to another without having to sell back into USD or fiat. So this is a big thing for Coinbase, and you know, they've heard their customers, and since they have such a large customer base, they really wanted to implement this. And, you know, it's about time that they implemented this. Again, it's going to save people money on trading fees. And then as well, it's going to have more people come to their exchange. So really, it's about the bottom dollar here. So, you know, if other exchanges, you can just only have to make one trade, crypto to crypto trade, why would you get on Coinbase? So basically, Coinbase is trying to keep that high customer base that they have. And again, it says more pairs are going to be added in the future based off customer feedback. So we already know right now there's about 40 coins on the back burner waiting to be launched on Coinbase. So again, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more in the future, and they're going to be just like every other exchange. So we're going to have to see what happens with that, but it is good. They are listening to their customers. Now, going over the market today. So it's a great day in the market. Again, this is a lot of green. Probably, you know, one of the best days we've had in the last month or to 2 months. And you can see Bitcoin is up over 9% to $3,567. Ripple's up 17% to 33.7 cents. You have Ethereum up 12% to $96. EOS is up 27% to $2.46. And then Stellar's up 15% to 11.1 cents. Now, looking at Bitcoin analysis, this is the 4-hour chart. And again, I mentioned that we need to stay above this 3,200 level and break above the 50-day moving average. So you can see that's exactly what we did. But the strong resistance here was 3,600 I drew, and you can see we got up to a high of 3,590. So we could not break this 3,600 resistance. Now, this resistance also coincides with the 128-day moving average at about 3,630. So these are two very strong resistance levels that, you know, we need to have a lot of buying power to break. And, you know, we may not be able to break them right away, but I do believe we will climb above them very soon. But again, with this strong resistance, it's hard to say when. You know, we may fall right back down, but it is good that we have at least gotten very close, and hopefully we just consolidate a little bit here and then try to break to the upside again. But just maintaining, looking here at the RSI, it is very overbought. So, you know, it's the highest it's been in a while on the 4-hour chart, so pullback was expected. Now, if we actually go to the daily chart, you can see that the RSI is still oversold. So it's at 40 right now, not quite in the mean. It's still oversold, so still has some room to go. But you can see again, had this huge candle, and we're just waiting right now before breaking that 3,600 resistance. But the one I want to look at is the weekly, which is pretty funny. Now, the weekly, I mentioned the RSI was oversold on the weekly for the very first time. And you can see the RSI has never been oversold on the weekly. So let me actually change this chart here. So you can see, scrolling all the way back, the RSI has never been oversold. But you can see now it just dipped under and right when it dipped under, you can see it reversed and it had this huge green candle here. So that's something always also to look out for is while a lot of people don't use the RSI, it is a self-fulfilling prophecy in the sense that, when it gets below this 30 level, people tend to rush in to buy because a lot of people do use it. So something to keep in mind when trading. So with that, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, comment if you have any questions, and please subscribe if you haven't. Until next time, thanks for watching.